Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. And it's time for another nerd chat. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and today we are going to be discussing leaks. Um, Specifically about like Pokemon, a little bit about Final Fantasy. Um, I kind of would also like to briefly touch on like Marvel Rivals and stuff, but we're not really going to be going over exact details. So nothing that we're talking about here we want to be like we have heard we might like talk about some things about like whether or not we believe them and stuff, but the primary thing is like how we feel about the basic concept of leaks. Um so yeah. Um so just for a brief thing, how do you feel about leaks in general?
Um, I have mixed feelings about them, quite frankly. Like part of me is like, oh, these are good. We should know things, and the other part of me is like, well, when they want to tell us, they will.
Yeah. And I think that is a very good statement. A lot of people. So there are kind of like two types of leaks that I've seen. The first one is if we specifically look at like Scarlet and Violet or Legends ZA in terms of Pokemon. When those had leaks, they had a lot of. One of the big leaks that we got were people who got into the code of the main game once it was out, and then were like, "Oh, here's all this information about like Pokemon that are going to get stuff and blah 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 blah." People who had access to early copies of the game and were able to figure out exactly what Pokemon and basically data miners. Um, which that's its own problem, but because like the game is out at this point. If you want to data mine things, like that's on you. That's a lot of what is going on currently with like Marvel Rivals is people are data mining the game to find out like certain characters that are supposed to be coming eventually to the game. Meanwhile, there's stuff like the stuff for winds and waves. If that's we're gonna refer to it as that, but Gen 10 basically for Pokemon. Um, that is if you haven't seen that leak, it's pretty much everywhere. All sorts of Pokemon YouTubers are talking about it. Um, I have not seen most of the leaks. Jack, you've seen a bit more, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, basically what I've seen is, oh, there's a video. Oh, let's look at this briefly. Oh, it's going like full in depth with certain things. Yeah, never mind. I don't want to watch this. um, but yeah, I feel weird about them and like how do you like if you've heard like especially with winds and waves is even if that's like personally I think that is probably just like a placeholder name. I don't think that's going to be the official name at all. um I mean it could be, but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And also I think that a big detail when it comes to a lot of the leaks is that these videos that have been discussing those leaks have not been taken down, which is just leading me to believe that it's probably fake leaks anyways. um because YouTube is or not YouTube, Pokemon is pretty anti-leak. So if something gets leaked and it gets out, they very quickly go out and destroy it as quickly as possible. It's one of the reasons why when it comes to a lot of the Pokemon leaks that happened for especially for Legends ZA, um, they specifically targeted them anything that had like visuals of certain Pokemon. So anything that had like a Mega Evolution, they targeted them immediately. That video was gone. Um, it's actually like even though there are still like just for example for when it comes to that, um, Garchomp has had several. It supposedly is going to get a Z Mega Evolution. We haven't seen it, but supposedly it's happening at some point. Um, and if you, a lot of the early videos that showed it immediately got removed. Um, Now they're starting to reemerge. I think partially because people are like, oh, Pokemon's like, oh, it's the game's out. They can data mine this. They know that it exists. Like it's not that big of a deal. It will be coming eventually. We'll reveal it when it reveals. And so on and so forth. So, yeah, I don't know. But when it comes to Winds and Waves, the fact that none of these videos that have talked about Winds and Waves have ever been um, uh, deleted or anything like that, that tells me that most likely these are fake. Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't know. That's like my first few thoughts on that. Um, and I think the big thing about like leaks is it sets a bad it sets expectations, and I think that's a big issue. um like trailers can also set expectations for certain things. um if you talk too much about it in a certain trailer, then that can cause issues, so on and so forth. Yeah, there's a lot with that. um so like if you see a leak, so if you see a leak, even if it turns out to be fake, your expectations start going through the roof. And even if you kind of like set yourself to be like, okay, these are probably fake. We shouldn't expect them to be like this. Then when the game eventually, even if you have set yourself, you've reset your expectations. When the game comes out and it turns out that that was completely false, there's nothing like that. Your expectations plummet. Um, uh, uh, and you just feel like shit, for lack of a better way to put it. For even expecting there to be something good about that. Um, so that's a big thing that I have an issue with about when it comes to a lot of the leaks. Um, and like sometimes they end up being true. They sometimes leaks do end up being true. I'm trying like if we think about the Alola leaks, a lot of people were like, "Oh no, these have to be fake." The stuff with Incineroar and Poplio's evolution, and all those, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, those have to be fake," right? Turns out they were real. Um, like some of it changed, obviously, but it was still just like a funny little situation with that. Um, but yeah, like what's a leak that you saw that was like completely accurate? Can you think of any?
You know, I can't. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen one that's completely accurate.
Yeah. Like there's very few for sure. Um like sometimes they can be. Sometimes they can be pretty accurate. Other times they will be just like completely false. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like I don't know. And it bothers me especially when it comes to the Pokemon leaks because they're from what I'm seeing, what I've seen, they seem very detailed. And that like the fact that there's anything like that is just like it tells me that this has to be fake. Whoever is leaking this is full of shit. There's no way. There's a big part of me that is like, even if this is partially real, it has to be like so much of it has to be fake. So, yeah, I don't know. And people keep talking about it, which is just like that makes it even more concerning. So, I don't know. And honestly, I don't expect to see anything official from Pokemon when it comes to Gen 10 until Pokemon Day. Um,
Yeah, same.
so, and if even if the game is confirmed to be called Winds and Waves, I am not looking at those leaks. I refuse to look at those leaks to assume that they are accurate, because there is a good chance that they, even if they are slightly accurate, it's gonna boost my expectations to whatever the version of that is, and then I'm gonna get disappointed when it eventually comes out. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it, and hopefully they'll. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Um, but I also want to briefly talk about fully fake leaks. Cough, cough. A lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff and um, Final Fantasy stuff. Most Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy leaks are pretty much false. A lot of them have been, especially recently, have been saying, "Oh, this such and such game is going to be talked about at such and such event," and no, not a single thing at all, and it's just sad. Um, I think the big problem when it comes to like those specific games and the leaks, like there were leaks about Final Fantasy IX getting a remake years ago. And everyone was expecting, oh, because the 25th anniversary is happening, and that happened last year, and they're doing all this stuff with like merch and stuff. There has to be something, right? No, there's nothing. Just and part of it that was that a lot of people were hearing about it, were saying about it was just like, there's gotta be something. It's gotta happen, right? Right? And especially with that, it sounds like the game might have been canceled. If not canceled, it could have been like held back quite significantly. Um, for whatever reason. Um, it could be because of the fact that last year, um, Expedition 33 made Square rethink a lot of their turn-based stances, because a lot of people they have been kind of like, oh, people don't actually like turn-based, right? And then Expedition 33 made them rethink that, and they're like, oh, maybe we should rethink this. And that might have been something where, oh yeah, they were planning to have Final Fantasy IX remake, whatever it was, be action based, and then they saw the reaction of that, and also the fact that a lot of people have been saying, we want to be turn based, we want to be turn based, we want to be turn based, and they're like, okay, we have to hold this off. We cannot reveal this, because otherwise, when people see that the game is not turn based, they're gonna be pissed. Um, so that's my guess as to what happened there, but it also could have just been canceled. Um, or it might not have ever even existed, and that's the problem. That's the major frickin' problem. Um, but yeah, if we talk about like data miners though, um, besides Pokemon, are there any games specifically that you can think of that have had like heavy discussions about the data mines, at least that you follow? Because I'd like to start with that if we can.
You
Otherwise,
know,
okay,
I have not heard that much.
okay,
Honestly, the only leaks I've seen at all have been Pokemon.
that's fair. That's fair. That's your main. That's like one of your big games, so that's to be expected. Um, when it comes to like, some of the things that I've seen is like, Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is heavily, heavily data mined, to the point that at this point, so many characters have been data mined, and you cannot tell which ones are going to be which ones are real and which ones aren't. There's like massive lists. Let me see if I can just data mined Marvel Rivals. Yeah. So like if these videos actually functioned, that'd be great. Or these pictures. Here we go. So they had so in terms of like characters that have happened actually, Angela, Blade, Deadpool, Emma Frost, Gambit, Jean Grey, and Ultron, and Rogue. Those are those are the 8 characters that were in those data leaks that have actually come out. And we are also getting Elsa Bloodstone soon, but but I don't think she was even in any leaks. In terms of like other characters, they've got like Beast, Captain Marvel, Cyclops, Colossus, Hitmonkey. I'm not certain who that is. Jubilee, MODOK, Nightcrawler, Professor X, and a few others. There, I can't read all of them. But there's like a ton. What is that? 22, I think. 22 different characters, I think. Yeah, 22 characters. Like that's like this is just like some a random image that I found. Like that so 22 characters were leaked, and about about 8. So 22 so 8 out of 22 characters have come out of leaked characters. So and there's probably more. There's probably a lot more that are coming that we just haven't seen yet. So it's like that is appears to be accurate, which is weird to think about. That so many characters got leaked, and they're like, oh yeah, these have been real. They haven't specifically said that any of them weren't going to be real. So, which when it comes to Marvel Rivals specifically, though, they can take from all the Marvel characters that they want, and they won't. And there's so many, like I don't even like what is it? Hundreds, thousands, millions of different characters that exist for Marvel Rival.
Yeah.
That Marvel has, and it's like, yeah, that's so. Who knows? Who knows what we're gonna see? Um, and even then, they have like, even if that was just it, there's also like other characters that will probably be showing up, and they're working so far in advance. It's like even if a character is supposed to be coming, we may not know for sure for like years. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, looks like also at some point like Bishop is like or is that Forge? I don't know which one that is based on that. But yeah, like there's so many characters. It's fine. It's whatever. There's a shit ton of characters. And even if it's just like something minor, they might have just been like planning to put them into like visuals or something, not necessarily even like these are going to be playable or anything like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, my big thinking when it comes to leaks in general is just like they're not great in any situation. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What is there any situation where you would say leaks are good?
I'm gonna say no to that.
Fair. That is absolutely fair. Um, I part of me would like to say like when you can't get any official information, sometimes leaks are okay, but at the same time, like not really, because like if we specifically look at Kingdom Hearts, um, there has not been a single piece of official news since I want to say, well, there was a little bit last year, but it was just pictures. Um, but Kingdom Hearts 4, the only thing that they've done is the first trailer. Um,
When was that?
uh, 2020, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Kingdom Hearts 4. When did the trailer come out? Ba, 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 ba. Some of the things I'm seeing are like 2022, but I don't necessarily think that that's true. Um, because it's been a while. Because yeah, people.
Well, it's 2026.
Yeah, I don't. So if that is the most recent thing, then it's been 4 years. But at the same time, I think it was earlier because yeah. So let's see. So 2019 was Kingdom Hearts 3. Um, we also got. I think in 2020 we got. No, in 2019 we also got Remind and Melody of Memory. And then I think almost immediately after Melody of Memory. So I think 2020 was the year that we got it. Um, and yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering things. This could be it could have been 2022. But it also could have been like just people have re-uploaded it over the years. Um, so I don't know. It's annoying. It's getting worse. It's yeah. A lot of people are just exhausted when it comes to Kingdom Hearts because a lot of leaks have happened and like most of them have basically been like there's gonna be a trailer at such and such convention or such and such event and no it's not. Like the only thing that we can ever believe is when it comes to Kingdom Hearts stuff is if it specifically comes from Square Enix, then maybe. But the thing is, like Square has been so quiet lately, it's insane. Um, into like yeah, Square Enix's most recent post was a thing about Final Fantasy VII, at least on their Blue Sky, and that was over a month ago. And they do post things every now and again, but most of it's just like, oh yeah, these things and that thing, and like they were active about a month ago because Octopath Traveler 0 came out a month ago, and then they haven't been talking about it. They haven't been talking about anything since. Um, like the only things that you might see is like from certain parts of the company like Final Fantasy 14 because that releases that has something released like practically every month, um even if it's like something really minor. There's updates, there's all sorts of things. Supposedly we're going to be getting like uh, Adventures of Elliot at some point this year. um and yeah, but nothing about Kingdom Hearts, nothing about Final Fantasy. And part of that is also due to the fact that Final Fantasy 16 was like the least liked. I don't know if it's the least liked, but it's one of the least liked of all of the Final Fantasies in recent years, except for 13. 13 had like it was shat on so badly. 15 had a lot of issues, but they've slowly fixed them. 16, I think like the big thing that people are saying about 16 is just like it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy. And yeah, I'm getting a little bit distracted, but you get my point.
Yeah.
And it sucks when the most information that people are getting for their favorite games are just through leaks. And most of the time, those leaks are fake. So, it hurts. It hurts a bit. But, yeah, hopefully we will be getting some more information sooner rather than later when it comes to a lot of games. Because supposedly Kingdom Hearts 4 is supposed to release sometime soon. It's supposed to release before the next Final Fantasy VII part, and there has been nothing besides the one trailer and the pictures. And the reason, and also, I hate when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4, especially the reason that they gave us the pictures that they did last year is to basically do some hey, everything's okay with Kingdom Hearts 4 despite the fact that we just canceled this other Kingdom Hearts game that people were actually kind of excited for. Well, I shouldn't say excited for. People wanted to play it, but they also didn't want to play it. When a Kingdom Hearts game, yeah, some game, that game was a mess, and it was gonna be a mess. So, yeah, I don't know. It concerns me. So, I don't know. I hope that they do something to improve certain aspects, especially when it comes to like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, because yeah, Square has been so quiet lately. In fact, I think that the only things I've seen from Square in recent years has been, at least recently, has been Killer Inn, which is coming out, I think, in a few months. It just gave us, I think they just announced the pre-release or something that's going to be on Steam, which, whatever. For those of you who are not aware of what Killer Inn is, it's basically Among Us, but more mature. For lack of a better way to describe it. And it's, I think, the last game that they're gonna do that is like not specifically one of their big three, like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts, at least for a while, because they're trying to reevaluate a lot of things and stuff like that. So I think like Octopath is one of their big has kind of added into the has kind of been added into the big groups. So Octopath, Nier, and possibly Adventures of Isaac, depending on how well it does. But those three.
Adventures of Elliot.
What did I say?
Isaac.
Oh, whoops. Adventures of Elliot. If that does well, I absolutely believe, which I think it should do well. It was so fun. Did you you played a little bit of the demo, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, that is gonna be so much fun. And honestly, I think Octopath is also gonna be. We just haven't gotten around to playing Octopath, just due to situations. But yeah, so Octopath, Adventures of Elliot, those are gonna be. Those are kind of merging into the big groups. Nier, after Nier Automata, did extremely well, so hopefully that's going to do well. Hopefully they'll make another Nier game soon. We just haven't heard anything. But yeah, and it feels I feel bad for people who are specifically content creators about um, any of these specific games, especially like Square Enix specifically, because they have not been able to talk about anything. They basically just have to be like, "Oh, is there was there an interview? Oh, there was." They said basically nothing. Well, I have to talk about it because there's nothing else to talk about. Um, and same thing goes for like, "Oh, there's a leak." Well, I don't have anything else I can talk about, so I have to talk about this. And it just, yeah, it's bad, and it's really annoying, especially for when it comes to for YouTubers specifically who are focused on because YouTube kind of does this weird thing where you have to be in a specific area in order to get like a good number of views and stuff. Um, and if you're not, then whoops, you just screwed yourself. So yeah.
Is that
And,
why we have so few views?
yes, that is exactly the reason. Because we don't
That and the lack of hashtags.
that and the last a lack of hashtags, but also like hashtags don't really do that much. Um, they do a little bit. They do a little bit, but they don't really do that much. Um, it's also like under 1,000 subscribers, YouTube doesn't really promote your stuff, which is the case for us. So,
True.
and even over 1,000, it's like maybe you'll get lucky, but like we're I've been how long have we been sitting at the 200 ish mark? Over a year now, I think. So I don't remember. Um, Not a huge deal, but yeah, it takes a long. It's challenging. Like sometimes you will get pushed, especially if like, oh, this is really popular. Sometimes if you're in the animation, if you do a lot of animation, then you can also get really high up there, because they kind of push a little bit more on that stuff. But that's not necessarily the case. I don't know. But yeah, so like there are some people that I follow that are their main thing is like Kingdom Hearts, and they can't discuss anything, and if they do discuss something, the YouTube algorithm basically hides it. Um and like yeah, so he like I have this one guy that I follow, and he's tried multiple times to just leave the Kingdom Hearts area, and I've tried I've watched some of his those videos, and they don't do well at all, and it's just kind of sad. Um, but yeah, if you're not necessarily in a specific group, then good luck. So it's also why if you actually look at like Nintendo of America, so Nintendo of America has 10 million subscribers, right? If we were to look,
Okay.
so that and that has a variety of different things. Um, if we were to look at, say, the yeah, let's Final Fantasy channel, because they have a separate channel. Let me see here. Where is the channel? Or I could just look up 14. Ba, 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 ba. Channel. Yeah, so Final Fantasy 14. Now, granted, Final Fantasy 14 is a very specific game, so that has just under a million subscribers, and that's for one game. but also, and then if we were to compare it though to Square Enix, specifically, they have, I believe they have less than that actually, because Square Enix is the actual. Yeah. So yeah. So Square Enix themselves have 360K, and like I said, Final Fantasy 14 has 700K subscribers. Like that's just a thing. Um, like that's the official channel. Like the Japanese Square Enix channel does have more, but they also post more, and it's uh, for all of it's for everything. They post for pretty much every single thing on the Square Enix Japanese account. Um, Everything has to go through there. Meanwhile, the English one only has to really talk about the English titles. Um, so while you should be subscribed to both, the average fan is going to mostly be doing the English. Is mostly going to be focused, but yeah, it's weird. But my point still stands that the more specific for the English stuff, the more specific one has more subscribers than the non-specific one. Nintendo, comparing it to Nintendo is a bad example because Nintendo is freaking massive. It'd be more accurate to like look at Pokemon than Nintendo. Pokemon channel. Uh, it's at 6 million. It's almost at 7 million. So, granted, Nintendo is a massive company besides just Pokemon, but considering that, I don't know. It's weird, and like those are official channels though. Comparing that to like regular like channels that just discuss a specific company, they discuss a specific group of section. Um, like if we were to compare it to say a YouTuber discussing one of the biggest YouTubers that discusses
No,
Pokemon, it would be
sorry.
weird. Yeah. Why can't I find it? There it is. So yeah, one of the biggest Pokemon YouTubers has about 3 mil. Um. So yeah, which is about half of Pokemon. He's not the biggest, but he is one of the bigger ones. So it's weird. It's complicated. It's yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, being specific is really your best friend when it comes to a lot of these things. So yeah, and that's like it hurts a lot of the people who talk about like a specific game. Like if somebody wants to talk about Kingdom Hearts, and they only want to talk about Kingdom Hearts, then they either have to talk about leaks or they have to basically replay games like multiple different times with like pretending to be different characters or something, do like hacked versions of the game, and it's like it's just a mess. It's a massive freaking mess. I don't know. And yeah, it's why I hate leaks. Leaks are a massive pain in the ass. Um, but should we talk about like anything specific about the Pokemon leaks?
I did see the proposed starters, and
Yeah,
they look awesome.
yeah. Let me see.
I wish they were real. I highly doubt they are, but they look awesome.
Yeah, let me look at the The little bat, the elephant, and the cow, I guess. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they look cute. They're probably fake. You're
Oh,
probably right.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that I think it's funny. A lot of the images that people are showing of Winds and Waves for like their cover things is like this one image where it's Nimona in a freaking field or in a forest. And it's like, yeah, we're not gonna look like Nimona. Like, no matter
Yeah,
what it
no.
is, we're not gonna look like that. We're not gonna look like Nimona. And like that might have been like a placeholder image or something when they were like doing some tests and stuff. But at the same time, that's not real. Like, I don't believe for a second like any of these images are real. Um like other images that that have been around are like Red flying on a Spearow or sailing on a Lapras with Pokemon around him. Like on the Lapras, like two other Pokemon. I think there's a Pikachu and something else. Um, I think there's a Pikachu, a Bulbasaur, and I can't see the other one. The one image I found is kind of bad, but I'm not specifically looking at it. And it's just like I don't believe this for a second. Do you?
No.
I just yeah. And another thing is like if this ends up being true, then it's probably like early development and they probably will it's going to be massive changes if that is the case. Like does this image look good? Yes. But at the same time, I highly doubt that's real. So, yeah, I don't know. It's so bad. It's so weird. And like some of the images as well that could be like there's like images of like what they think what people think the legendaries are going to look like and it's like yeah, sure, I'll believe that in like 20 years. Or whatever. However, if it ends up being real, cool, but I doubt it. Um but no matter what the game is, for the next generation, it's gonna be something where we're going to be needing a Switch 2. No matter who you are, you're gonna need a Switch 2 for this thing. I think that that's a reasonable assumption to make. Um, what do you think?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, like uh, we had ZA come out on both consoles. It's not going to happen for whatever Gen 10 is going to be. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. We will see eventually, but I do not believe it for a second. But though I do wonder what you think. This is not actually involved with any leaks, but would you like to see it be in a situation where, um, we can use all of the different gimmicks from the previous regions? So
I think that would be cool.
So Mega Evolution, Z Powers, Gigantamax, Terastallization, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's
You
gonna be
just have
like
an arm with like six bracelets on it.
yeah, that's gonna be insane. Like I can actually like pretty easily imagine what that bracelet would look like. Like there it would probably be a band with on the top would be a spot for a Z crystal, a spot for your the mega stone on your wrist it would be the Gigantamax symbol thing, um and then obviously you would have to have the orb for the terastallization.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I hope that whatever they do, I hope that it's fun. I also think it needs to have really good customization. That's another thing. Um, we just got ZA, which had amazing customization. If you haven't checked out all the customization options, then you're missing out, in my personal opinion. Um, like I purposely got every single piece of clothing as soon as I was able to check them out, and like they're just so fun, and the fact that you can do pretty much every single outfit on either version of your character, either model, is just like yay. Whether you're a boy or a girl, you can be whatever you want, which is kind of funny because like a lot of uh, I've seen a lot of people basically they start out as a guy and then they like go full trans and are dressed like a girl, which is kind of insane. I kind of love that. Um, like that's not my style, but at the same time, like I appreciate that they can actually do that, which you were not able to do in the previous game. um, but one thing I would like to see as well is if they do something like Urbane or Tawny, where it's a gendered friend who is the opposite, who usually is the opposite gender, let us choose that as an option because like some people are going to want to play as the girl and have Tawny as their friend. Some people are going to want to play as the guy and have Urbane as their friend, and you don't get that option. Um, like that's just using that as an example. That should be something that they do for Gen 10, I think. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I
think the better option is doing what they did in Scarlet and Violet, where it's just like set characters. But you get my point. Also, I really hope that they do voice acting. It's getting insane. It doesn't have to be every cutscene. Let me make that clear. It does not have to be every single cutscene, or every single character has to speak. You know what? Freaking, Final Fantasy XIV is, I think, like one of the best examples of what they could do. Major cutscenes, voiced, and that's pretty much all that they need. They don't need to have every single cutscene or every single the side quests. Who cares? Some would be nice, yes, but the vast majority do not need to be voice cutscenes. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping when it comes to leaks, is besides the starters, is there anything about the leaks that you would like to be true?
I would like it if they were actually a series of islands similar to Alola, but just bigger.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And especially if it's something, if it is a massive world, like, frickin' Scarlet and Violet. And honestly, when it comes to that, speaking of, I would love to see at some point remakes of like every single Pokemon game where they're open. They are open world. That would be so fun to just see how that works. And also, here's another thing. Do what the frickin' anime says they do. Where each trainer, each of the major gym leaders has like different teams for how you handle them. Like the anime specifically says that is the case. Like in Origins, they specifically say, "Hey, I will battle you with two since you only have 2 gym badges, I will only use or you don't have any gym badges, I'll just use these 2." And then they fight you like that. And they're like, maybe they're weaker when you start off, and they get stronger, and like by the time that you're doing Gym 8, they have a full team, and they can really go ham. Um, and also whatever the gimmick, if they create a new gimmick or they're using gimmicks, once the gimmick is introduced to you, it needs to be used by the enemies for sure. It's one of the things that I
Yeah.
loved. I absolutely adored about ZA. Um, I have you faced Ultimate Tawny yet?
No.
You haven't. Okay. So
Wait. Is that in the regular game?
no, it is not in the regular game. It's in the DLC.
Then no.
Okay. So Ultimate Tawny, you have to have completed every single side quest. And then you do this battle against her, and she uses 6 Mega Evolving Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah, she goes hard. And supposedly you can rebattle her in using the Infinite ZA Royale. And if you deal with her, she's ultimate form at that point. After you've done that, supposedly. I haven't seen it yet. But and I think that Karina is also in there, and she's also ultimate. I don't think she uses all Mega Evolving Pokemon, but I think she has like 3 of them. Let me see. Can I go to the Bulbapedia? Let's see. Karina. Let's see here. What is her team? Do they have the ZA team? They do have the team. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, she has all of them. She has all Mega Evolving Pokemon. I'm wrong. So yeah, she has a Mega Gallade, a Mega Crabominable, a Mega Medicham, a Mega Halucha, a Mega Chestnut, and a Mega Lucario Z.
Wow.
For her ultimate battle. For her, she does have a battle where you face her alone with 1 Lucario, I think.
Yeah.
It's 1 Lucario versus 1 Lucario, and that's how you get the Lucario Z. But that's like part of the main story. So there's that. So yeah, so she's there. So that's her team. And then what is? I want to see what Tawny Slasher Bane is. What is their ultimate team? Because I think I might be wrong about the ultimate team. Ultimate team. Okay, here we go. Rematch after Mega. Okay, here we go. So. Okay, so yeah, it can be either Quizartico or at the battle, but it's like specifically after you've done this battle. Okay, so. So obviously her 2 starters, depending on which one you chose, which they both Mega Evolve. Manectric, which Mega Evolves, Meowstic, which Mega Evolves, and then Goodra, which has a freaking Assault Vest, and Avalugg, which has leftovers.
Oh, great.
So yeah, she's nasty. I'm surprised I beat her on my first try. I used a lot of potions. Yeah, I used a lot of potions and revives for her battle. It was not fun. And I was using legendaries, by the way. I was using my legendary. Yeah, I was using my legendary team. I think there were a few Pokemon that I hadn't gotten yet, but that was before I got Latias. So yeah, I think I had 3 legendaries, 2 of which were the Swords of Justice. 1 was Latios, and it was like, yeah, I'm getting my ass whooped here. Holy shit.
Wow.
It was not fun. But yeah, and I don't think anyone like talked about this leak, by the way. So that was never leaked that was a battle. There were people who were talking about that there was a battle against her at Quizartico Inc. Didn't realize that it was a real thing. I never saw the battle beforehand, and like, you don't get that without having a full team, without like, if nobody leaks that, you don't get the experience of, oh no, I'm going to die. So, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things with it that I like. I'm glad that wasn't leaked, and I hope that there are going to be a lot of major things that will not get leaked. But it does, like, I would love for when Pokemon Gen 10 comes out, whatever it is, I am really hoping that they do something like that battle, or like the Karina battle, where you just could get your ass handed to you. Because it's freaking cool. So yeah, I don't know. I love it. I love that fight. It's just absolutely insane. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Uh, but yeah. So anything you have to say or?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, the point is, don't leak things. It's not good. We want to play the game as it comes out, and also be careful with your trailers, please, because that would be nice to be able to actually play these things. Yeah. Whatever happens when on Pokemon Day, when we finally get the information, I hope it's gonna be really exciting. And personally, I think we should probably have at least one more Pokemon discussion before before Pokemon Day, and like all of the things that we would like to see. But that'll probably be like the last nerd chat that we do before Pokemon Day. But we'll see. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's nerd chat. I've been Electro Ninja. He's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on.